Hey, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. This is David Steele and here's my truck. Today we're in a Volvo D11 2014. This is the low roof sleeper. I think it's a 780 or a 740. You know what, I'll check that in just a second. And we are running Volvo D11. In fact, we're actually running a pretty entry-level engine here. It's a 355 horsepower version, and there's a beta test for the engine from the Steel Productions engine pack when it's ready. Bit of a mouthful. Let me try and get this thing lined up. Well, I'm going to go for the difficult parking when we reach the other end. But for now, I just want to catch the thing properly. Okay, that's not quite lined up, but let's get my windows down. Gently back it up and straighten it up. I may have made a mess of this. So what we're going to do, switch to the external view and let's lower the ride height, like so, and then we'll just back it up. Watching on this. Look at that. Wow. That's unusual. I normally mess it up. Okay, so let's quickly check what it says we're in. It doesn't. Yes, it does. A 730. My bad. Okay. So it's a V&L 2014. It's a 6x2. So only the, I believe it's the frontmost of the two rear axles are powered today. If it rains, those are the wheels that will skid. But we only have 355 horsepower and 1250 foot-pounds of torque. So we've not got that much under the hood. And we're using the direct drive, the stock Volvo I-Shift transmission that comes with the base game. So that's the spec of the truck. I mean, what it doesn't say is that yellow is particularly fast and crash resistant. It is neither of those two, but that's okay. Let's jump back in here, jump back in the cabin. So what's today's route? Short trip to Portland with about 51,500 pounds of ethane stuck behind me. So what could possibly go wrong? And I've not really got much of an alternative route, even if I wanted to. Get my windows up. There we go. Oh, almost forgot. Let's go out there and actually connect the trailer. Okay, there we go. That's better. So the purpose of today's test, it's a few-fold for me. One is I really want to check how well the engine performs accelerating and cruising. It should be short shifting a little, which we may have seen already, but we'll find out. And I also want to check how well the engine brake works. So I've adjusted this a little in the Volvo, in the D11. I've told the transmission to shift down when you use the engine brake and be fairly aggressive with the engine speed. That's definitely short shifting. And that's maybe a little low, but I mean it'll pull from that engine speed. Peak torque is produced at 1050 RPM in this particular engine. I think it's 1050 in this particular engine. So it doesn't have much torque, but it's available nice and low down in the rev range. And torque curve is flat to I think 1400 RPM. It may even be 1500 RPM, but it's flat for a good chunk of the green gauge indication in the tachometer. Yeah, so pretty much 1000 to 16, give or take. It does dwindle a little over 1500, but it's if you're running the engine in that part of the power band, that is the power band, I should say. Yeah, it's most definitely short shifting. And is it pulling? Well, I squeezed a bit more power and it downshifted, so I may need to tweak that. See, right now I really want to be changing it up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let the transmission figure it out. There we go. Did it shift too, I wonder? Well, we'll find out. Sometimes changing the shift points by just 5 to 10 RPM makes a big enough difference on the road for some of the stock transmissions. I try and tune my engines for... Is this my turn? No, that's not my turn. It's actually that's someone's warehouse. Okay. There's also a shortage of really low down torque, which is why it sort of hesitates there. I can fix that. It's probably not that accurate. And we didn't stop, so I didn't really have the issue there. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn in. Now, I'm not giving it full beans by any stretch. I want to encourage the transmission to short shift. And it kind of is. Now, I should say what a short shift is. It's not where a short girl changes gear for you. It is where where the engine and the transmission changes gear at a fairly low engine speed. So right now it's revving it out to 1550 so far. 16. That is, yeah, so that is not a short shift. It's going from 1600 revs to 1200 revs, and I'm not giving it that much beans. I'm just going to give it a bit more power now, get up to 60. If you're going up a hill, the transmission, the way that it works in ATS is it'll hold on to a few more revs. If you're going down a hill, it'll short shift. Now that felt like a short shift. That's into top just below 50. But it's right back in the part of the power band where it's got full torque. So it's going to pull just fine relative to the rest of the rev range. In fact, I would say that worked out great. Just set cruise at 55. So really what I want to do is check that it is performing as I want it to. Now, this is not really the sort of cargo I would necessarily expect to put behind this spec truck. A 6x2 is... You get a 6x2 because you want to save a bit of fuel. So there's less friction, and there may be less weight. You know what? I don't actually know if there's less weight or not. I should check that. Because you've got fewer wheels being driven, so there's less friction through the drivetrain. You still have friction of the tires on the road. You got less from the drivetrain. Disadvantages? Well, reduced traction. Now, in accelerating on a wet road or up a hill, carrying a heavy cargo, you'll spin the driven axle fairly easily, and sometimes you just won't go anywhere. I'm going to just move out to let this guy in, or girl. Okay, I'm going to just pump it up to 60. Check acceleration is perfectly what I'd expect for this kind of spec engine. Sometimes you see a mid-lift truck, going back to topic, and that's where one set of axles on the back of the tractor engine unit can be raised or lowered, and you might raise them if you're not carrying too big a cargo. You want to stick within your axle weight limits, and you'll lower them when you haul a bigger cargo. You may also raise them, I don't know whether this is official practice or not, if you need more traction, because you increase the pressure on the driven wheels and you reduce the likelihood of them skidding or spinning. Okay, just gently bobbing along here at 60. The other side of traction, most people think that traction control is to do with accelerating, and I suppose it is, but also braking. If you only have one driven axle, that means that your engine brake and your retarder that work on your powertrain, on your driven axle, is only acting on one axle as opposed to two. And you can have the same effect. You can lock the wheels or start to skid the wheels, maybe not lock them completely with the engine brake. And the way that I've set this tractor trailer up, when it's when I'm driving bobtail, I should say, not when instead of the tractor, it'll downshift when I use the engine brake, and it'll lock the driven wheels. You might expect that, Bobtail. I've got my engine brake cranked up to 3, I'm absolutely sure of it. But you don't necessarily want that if you are driving along in on a wet road and you want to slow down. Now, yes, you probably shouldn't be using the engine brake so much on a wet road, or maybe not stage 3. But it's still good to know that that's what will happen if you're clumsy with the controls. I don't need to use the engine brake yet. Okay, I'm gonna turn on the engine brake and drop it down to 50. And it didn't downshift. Okay, probably didn't need to.
Going too fast.
Yeah. Turn off the engine brake there. Should stick in top gear when it's doing 50 because it's still 1200 RPM, give or take. There we go. I think it'll do 45 in top gear. Should we find out? Let's tap it down again to 45. Let's see if it downshifts.
Keep left.
Oh, I think it's going to stick in top. Alright. Only just, maybe. And I'm going to tap it up to 55 and see if it'll accelerate up this gradient. And I don't think it will. No, it's losing speed. So when's it going to downshift? There you go. So it downshifted and it's still losing speed. It's caught itself though, and it's accelerating. So not the kind of thing you might really think about if you're driving along normally. You probably wouldn't deliberately decelerate before you come up to a hill. I mean, you might do, but from a testing engine perspective, I want to know that if you for whatever reason slow down, come to a gradient, is it gonna, is it gonna block shift down 2 or 3 gears? And if so, would that be considered realistic for that particular truck? And that's where you end up watching lots and lots of YouTube videos, as many as I can, that might help me. Let's drop the speed to 50. That might help me see what happens when a driver wants to downshift. Okay, it's probably going to lose a lot of speed on this gradient, so tap it down to 45. So it downshifted once, downshifted a second time, and it's going through them one by one. That's completely fine. We're going to go for 9th. Oh, no, it didn't need it. I mean, it got pretty close, but it didn't need it. Okay, I would say that's good. I mean, it's going up this hill, and it's not accelerating, but it's not downshifting. I'm gonna merge right if I can, but right now I can't. It's picking up speed. Okay, let's go after this thing. It's a Jeep. I don't want to stick too close behind it because it's probably on the way to get its transmission rebuilt.
Keep right.
Light brake down. Okay, I'm going to kill the cruise control right now, and we're going to let's use some engine brake. Yep, there we go. I knocked my microphone, but it downshifted, and that's good. That's what I wanted. Right. Let's kill my engine brake, and it shifts back up. Engine brake on, down to that shifted down 2. Okay. Kill the engine brake back up to 11. Alright. I'm going to merge left. Is this car going to let me in? No.
Keep left.
Bit more engine brake. Come on, come on, come on, Cadillac. Okay. Let's see if it will hold 45. It will. In fact, if anything, it is more aggressive at holding the speed. But I'll keep the engine brake on.
Keep left. Turn left.
Go left again. We're in a city, so let's kill the engine brake and use the service brake. Okay, I would say that engine brake is certainly more aggressive than the stock 355 horsepower Volvo, and it did okay. even trying to mess with the transmission and the shift point, or trying to, you know, engine brake on, engine brake off, it downshifted a couple of gears, and it worked great. Okay. From a testing perspective, I think it shifts up slightly too early, but only slightly. We'll see what happens when we turn left here. It was about 15 to 20 miles an hour, so I don't think I'm going to reach that speed, but maybe. No, I'm not. Okay, so I think ultimately from a testing point of view, engine brakes working great, shift points, a small bit of refinement. Let's see how well it works. Gear change. I'm going to giving it part throttle. Alright, there we go. So the shift is 7. But that wasn't disastrous by any stretch. I mean, maybe it's a little low for the engine, but not horrendously low. I went over the pavement, over the sidewalk. So we're in 5th. It's going to shift up.
Turn left.
Yeah. So it's block shifting and missing out 6. I would say that that's going to be okay. I don't think it's a huge concern.
Finally, we're there.
Oh, this could be difficult parking. Ew. I don't know whether I really want to do that. Let me see. Excuse me. I'll have to turn left into here and then back it up. I really don't feel like doing that. I'm going to wimp out. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I don't feel... Oh, that's interesting. We're rolling back. I'm giving it lots of power and we're still not moving. Let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Okay. Yeah, this thing might need a bit more torque low down. I can fix that as well. It's probably just a few percentage points and the torque at sort of 600 RPM. Alright, wheel camera time. I am using the stock V&L sounds here, so I wouldn't expect any great shakes in the sound, but the Volvo sounds okay. Bring it to a halt, there we go. Parking brake on. External view. Shuts it down. See how well we did? Excuse me. Right, 173 miles and 26.2 gallons. Okay, let's feed that into my data sheet. 6.6 to the gallon. You know, I would be okay. I am okay with that. It's a low-powered engine. We've got to work it fairly hard, and that's actually a pretty heavy cargo as well, with reasonably short gearing. Well, that just about wraps up today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, you know what to do. And thanks so much for sticking it out to the end. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day, everyone. Goodbye.